He is Houston Methodist President and CEO. And a programming note now, Wall Street Week will air tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're joined by Larry Summers and Gillian Tett to talk about the big events of the week, how they have affected global Wall Street. This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and on radio. This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and Radio. I'm David Weston. Time now for Stock of the Hour. We are looking at Carnival, and for that matter, the travel industry. And Abigail Doolittle is here with a look.
Well, David, it's really pretty interesting because Carnival on the day is certainly higher. This after the company yesterday gave an update saying that they will be cruising again in 2021. Somewhat vague, but nonetheless, you have the stock up about 2%. However, the real gains over the last few weeks, David, and not just for Carnival, but for other travel-related stocks as well, such as Norwegian, American, United Airlines. And as you can imagine, this has everything to do with the vaccine reality, the optimism that folks will be back out there at some point in 2021, and that maybe there will even be pent-up demand for travel. The juxtaposition that is so interesting here, though, David, is we had this disappointing payrolls report today, really showing the first signs of what the resurgence of the virus meant, at least in the month of November. Payrolls coming in at 245,000 versus the expectation of 460,000, and down from the prior month in October of nearly 640,000 jobs. So, and a lot of those jobs in the travel sector, airline workers, cruise line operator workers, the unemployment above 27 weeks really absolutely extended as there's this big population of folks, again, many in that travel industry as they remain unemployed. So again, you have the juxtaposition of these stocks soaring and yet this real world difficulty. It's hard to get your mind around, but that is what's happening right now. A piece of it, though, David, really just has to do with the stock piece because, of course, these travel stocks beaten down on the year. There are other sectors that are beaten down, too, such as energy, financials, industrials. Over the last few weeks, in the hope that this would be a reopening, reflation, the trade, you see these sectors really starting to gain as investors are looking for the catch-up of those sectors that had been so beaten down, including the travel stocks, David.
Yeah, as you told us earlier, Abigail, that reflation is indicated right now with the 10-year as you're looking at it. So thank you so much to Abigail Doolittle for that report on the travel industry. Up next, the key Georgia Senate runoff races with former aide to President George Herbert Walker Bush, Joe Watkins, about what's going on down in Georgia, what will make the difference between whether the Republican incumbents hold their seats or not. This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and on radio. This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and Radio. I'm David Weston. For Bloomberg First Word News, we go now to Mark Crumpton.
David, although the prospects for a pandemic relief package before the end of the year are growing, legislators got a stark warning today about the potential cost of inaction. A much weaker than expected November employment report showed thousands of Americans left the labor force amid the spread of COVID-19. National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow told Bloomberg the jobs numbers are not as bad as they seem.
It may have come in a wee bit under expectations, but I don't know what that means. 6.7% unemployment rate is big news. The CBO and others didn't expect single digits until early 2021, so we got single digits the last couple of months.
And Mr. Kudlow says the White House wants a targeted stimulus plan. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says the House has enough votes to override a veto by President Trump of a crucial defense bill over his demand that it include a provision to strip a legal shield for social media platforms. The National Defense Authorization Act, that, among many things, authorizes military pay raises and extra pay for troops on dangerous missions, has broad support in both the House and the Senate. It's set to pass both chambers next week. It has become law every year for the past 59 years. President Trump has raised $495 million since mid-October, with more than $207 million of it pouring in after Election Day. That's an unusually large amount to raise after an election. Much of the money probably will go into Save America, a political action committee that the president can use for various activities after he leaves office. Some of the contributions will go toward what is left of Mr. Trump's legal fights over the certification of election results. Lebanon's Hezbollah says it is suing a former